Well, well, what have we here? I think something's gonna happen today. If it doesn't turn out to be a complete disaster, I will share it with you. I'm going to attempt to make Nana's tropical cake. We'll see what happens. Stand by. Alright, so here I got a 9x13. I'm using the carry-out pan so I don't have to bring it back. Melted a stick of butter in there. I'm going to dump in a can of crushed pineapple. Just like that. And I'm gonna see if I can spread that out a little bit. Not making too big of a mess. There we go. Now I got a French vanilla cake mix. I'm gonna dump that on there. Nice and easy like that. Very good. Spread that out a little bit. Butter and pineapple. You never had tropical cake, you don't know what you're missing. This stuff is so good. Alright, there we go. That's going to go in the oven for a little while, then we'll see what happens. Hang around. So that is in the oven now. It's at 325 instead of 350. It's going to take a little bit longer, a little bit slower, because there's so much extra liquid from the pineapple in there, but trust me, this works. We'll see what happens. Hang on. Alright, now while the cake's been cooking, I've been prepping the other stuff. So I have 4 bananas sliced up. I've got about a half a cup of Marciano cherries quartered. That's sweet evaporated milk, cream of coconut, toasted pecans, and some Hill Country Fare HEB whipped topping, because I support my local grocery store and it costs less. So there you go. While that's cooking, you'll see what we do with all these. I'll show you how we assemble it here in a little bit when the cake comes out. So stand by. Alright, so the cake is done. Once the cake comes out and it's done, the next step is you got to poke a bunch of little holes all over the place. So I'm going to do that with this little old skewer that I got here. I'm going to poke holes all over this thing. Nice and easy. You get the concept. What you got to do is you got to perforate the whole thing all over, because you're going to dump a bunch of this coconut cream stuff and evaporated milk all over it. It's got to soak in, and it's got to soak in everywhere. It's got to totally saturate this thing. That's what you got to do. So I'm going to poke a bunch of holes in this thing. Keep doing this for a minute. Get all these holes poked in here. Y'all got to please admire my skill set, because I'm holding my phone with one hand trying to watch the phone and the cake, and I'm poking all these holes in it. So I'm really multitasking here. So you should be impressed with this skill set alone. I think that's good right there. I'm going to set that to the side. Now this is a mixture of it's about half and half of the Coco Lopez and the evaporated milk. It equals about 2 cups worth. So I'm going to dump this on here. Just like this. Dump it all over. Get that soaking in. Get it soak into the whole thing. Nice and easy like that. I'm going to do that. And then what you want to do after that, and get all that dumped on, that's good enough. Alright, then this is going to go into the refrigerator for about 30 minutes to cool down, and the next step will be adding all the pretty toppings and stuff. So we'll stand by for that. Alright, there you go. It's cooled for about 30 minutes. Next step is to cover it with sliced bananas, like so. Cover the whole thing. Alright, there we go. Covered with bananas. Next step is to cover the whole thing with Cool Whip. Spread that out on there nice and easy. That's going to be looking good. And that's how it looks like when the Cool Whip's all over it. The next step is to sprinkle the little roasted pecan pieces all over it like that. Alright, there we go with the pecan spread all over it. Next step is the Marciano cherries are going to be spread out all over it nicely. And that is the finished product. Finished product, going to put the cap on it, put it back in the fridge for the rest of the day, and then this evening, taking it to a Christmas party at a friend's house. Hopefully it'll be a hit. So we'll see how that goes. Y'all have a great weekend.